All right. We are live, y'all. We are live. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Successful Women in Business Saturday. I am so excited, guys. Y'all don't even understand how excited I am to have CEO Danielle Meadows Stinnett here today. She is the CEO of Octane. It's a digital marketing company, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she is the senior graphic designer CEO of this company out of Lexington, Kentucky. So, can you say hi to the ladies?
Hello, ladies. It's so good to see and hear familiar faces.
Yes. So, we are so excited to have you here today. You are a mom, you are a wife, you are a CEO, right? You
Yes.
are,
Getting
yeah,
comfy with
you're
that.
a CEO, and
Mhm.
that's a lot, right? So
It
can
is.
you tell us more about yourself, who you are, and why you started your company?
Oh, absolutely. So really, I'm Danielle Meadows Stinnett, obviously. I'm a designer, CEO of Octane. Octane is a 12-year-old digital marketing and branding firm based right in the heart of the bluegrass. So our practice is unique because it is Black woman owned, it is women led across 5 countries. And our practice is unique because, again, we just want to stand out and represent all the nerdy women out there while doing the thing. So that's pretty much Octane within itself. I'm also married, as we mentioned, and a mom to 4 wonderful, beautiful boys across all ethnicities. If you want to add one more, my husband would be child number 5. And we use gaming a lot for the ties that bond, which is a lot like our personality at Octane. So when I'm not designing or parenting, you can actually listen to me on my podcast that I also produce and co-host called the More Than Graphics Podcast, which is a safe digital place for women in tech and women creatives.
Nice, nice. I love that. And right now, a lot of entrepreneurs are getting their voice out there. They're getting their stories out there. They're getting their visions out there, right? And a
Yes.
lot of them, they are starting podcasts.
Mhm.
Podcast is the new waves right now, right? So
Yes.
can you give us just a few tips on how to get started with a podcast?
Absolutely. Everything starts with an idea. And then
Mm,
how far does that idea go? So, as an example, there's plenty of podcasts out there about motherhood and parenting and cooking, right? There's a lot of podcasts out there just in those general topics. But how they all originate and start is just with an idea. If I'm cooking, what am I cooking about? What am I cooking? Are they going to watch me or hear me cook? Or are they just going to hear me talk about a recipe? Maybe making it fun and kind of doing a little bit of research, seeing what other people who are talking about cooking are talking about on their podcast. Maybe they have a special chef or maybe some sort of local tie in that they have with their podcast. There's so many different ways that podcasting can develop, but originally it starts with just the idea and fleshing out that idea to fruition.
yes, and that's exactly how Ambitious Women started, right? So I noticed last year there were hundreds of thousands of Black women who
Mhm.
started businesses, and all I wanted to do was promote their business, right? And give them the space to tell their story and also showcase their products and services.
Mhm.
So that's how Ambitious Women podcast started, right? So
That's
you
awesome.
just have to see a need in the market or have an idea to get it started. So that's a great information. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so when they come to your podcast, what can they find out? What kind of information is it that you're providing with your podcast?
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned before, it's a virtual safe space. So, this is where we can put our hair down, we can relax. This is not some formidable, thing. It's more of a very social, down to earth conversation, woman to woman. So, what I love the most about the podcast really is just kind of the the organic growing of conversation between two or more people. So myself and my co-host Cicely, we are definitely podcast sisters. We talk about everything under the sun. We're both moms. We're both special needs moms. We're both in interracial marriages. So it's one of those things where we're very accustomed to our sisterhood. But in that, I work a lot in tech. She works a lot on the creative, and we also swap. So it's really kind of cool to also talk in a space that allows that kind of 9 to 5 jargon, but also in a more relaxed culture. And then also just being real with, as a woman of color, the lingo changes from 9 to 5. So that also bringing that type of dynamic to the podcast is really something that I'm very proud of. We do bring on guests onto the show, both men and women into the space, and we interview them quite often about just their life journeys, their life chronicles, their own truths. Everybody has their own truths. And so we really bring that aspect of it to our platform. So that's something that we celebrate a lot around the podcast.
Yes, and I love how you said that you have a partner that you work with and you do a lot of collaborations. So a
Mhm.
part of having a marketing strategy, right, is doing collaborations and networking, right? So can
Yes.
you explain to the ladies like what are some of the importance of having a marketing strategy and having your business branded properly?
Absolutely. So strategy really starts again with kind of the ideas. What do I want people to do? We refer to that as a CTA, right? A call to action. What is that call to action that you want people to learn? Is it more about yourself? Is it more about the actual product or service that you provide? So we kind of break that down a couple different ways. And I'm gonna look at my notes just to make sure I got it right. The first one would be one like the energy saving spot of this, right? So when you actually hire someone to do your graphic design, you want someone who's already knowledgeable in that area so you don't have to focus on it anymore. No more microaggressions in you, around you, toward you. You don't have to worry about having to learn something all new. You can just delegate that out to someone who's very knowledgeable in that field. So saving energy is a big one. Another one is SOPs, and I don't mean standard operating procedures. I really mean strong organic presence.
Mhm.
Consistency is what's going to save you a lot as you are progressing in your strategy for social media. So, again, I say that because consistency is that's it. That's the real organic key to getting more people behind your brand is being consistent and consistently putting yourself out there. And then lastly is target audience. You got to know who you're talking to. And that means knowing what to go toward and what not to go toward. So trial by error has really been the bread and butter for a lot of clients that come through the door and work with us because we've done a lot of trial and error in our 12 years of existence. So you can lean on a lot on our judgment and the things that we can provide and the wisdom that we share as a foolproof way to push yourself forward without having to work harder instead of working smarter.
Yes, and it's all about the working smarter, right? So one
Mhm.
of the things that I do, is I content create and I have batch days where I create all of my content and then I schedule the content out. So can you tell us the importance of scheduling content and what your business does as far as helping entrepreneurs with scheduling content?
Oh, absolutely. So we love content calendars. It's a bread and butter service that we offer through Octane. So literally you tell us, we go through actually a small mini workshop. We call it the 3-1-3 challenge. You tell us three attributes about yourself that put my hand in there, three attributes about yourself that are your service that you want people to know. We break that down into three additional sentences, and then we break that down into one concise sentence. And that really just helps with brand voice. So if you don't know what your brand voice is, it's literally the way, the how, and the why you say what you say. So all those things accumulate into how we build our content calendars. So we do offer a 31-day, sometimes 32-day, depending on what mood we're in, content calendar. And we really provide these simple squares, if you will, that allow you to post on any given day. So we love being able to create that content. We also do the additional research of research hashtags as well as the captions in your brand voice. And we give that to you to schedule how you wish. So again, 31 days doesn't have to be every single day. You can spread that out actually between maybe 2 months of time. maybe 45 days worth of time. But we give you that content up front as a great service. And we get lots of compliments on the level of graphics because it's such a level up for a lot of people because they're not used to having that professional grade of graphics. It's not just a Canva template that you just drop in information. We give you custom graphics that are backed behind over a decade of experience.
Wow, customized graphics. That's really good. So, can you give us an example? Because you mentioned brand voice. Can you give us an example of one of your clients and what their brand voice looked like once you had a finished product for them?
Absolutely. We had one today. That's a speaker for racial equity. And so, what are the three attributes that you wanted people to know? One, dependable. I want to make sure they're educated, educational, and I want to be multifaceted. Those were the three terms that she gave us. Based upon those three terms, we understood that her brand voice means three different things. One, when we talk about just being multifaceted, what does that mean? Meaning multifaceted and standing in her truth, standing her ground, being a disruptor in areas where, for a lot of areas for women, is very marginalized, very shut out, very put out, especially in corporate America. So these are the spaces that she is entering to talk about social justice. And so I think it's really important as we talk about those three things or those three attributes, also breaking down the meaning of what those mean so that we can better take the tone of that voice and move forward. Another great example of that, actually, I have it pulled up right here. It's so funny. Another great example of that is playing on strengths. That was something that she immediately mentioned. And I was like, oh, perfect. I can actually use that in a sentence. I want to play on your strengths, and this is how I can make that happen. So just kind of pointing out the things that, again, going back to that 313 challenge, you can Google that online. I do not coin it by any means, but we use it quite a bit as we build strategy and tone and voice. So we're using those things to create these content pillars, which is what we're using when we're batching out content, right? So that could be education as an example. When we use education, what are three areas of education you want people to know? Maybe that's if you're talking again about racial equity, building racial equity in your company. As we talk about diversity and inclusion, what are three ways that you can build diversity and inclusion? That's one post. How about talking about the educational pay wage gaps that happen between a person of color and a person not of color? That's another topic that you can talk about. That's two. How about as we talk about more about education, where they can go to get additional resources about diversity and inclusion? That's three. I just mentioned three posts in less than 5 minutes about how you can create simple, easy content pillars for content and social media marketing.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm gonna go back and watch the replay and take notes on that because y'all, she just dropped some gems. I don't know if y'all was paying attention to what she just said, but she just gave y'all three social media content strategies. So go back and watch the replay. Rewind to this part because that was a huge gem she just dropped right now.
Just help them where I can.
Oh my gosh. So one thing you just talked about was education, right? So can you
Mhm.
tell us more about the education program that you have, the Q1 Essentials program, to help entrepreneurs that are just getting started out?
Oh, absolutely. I love Q1 Essentials. That idea originally came from literally me in an overflow session. I had like so many people coming to me at the end of the year, right? In December saying, okay, can you help me strategize for the next year? And so I had such an overflux of clientele asking me the same questions. And so I was like, how can I make this easier for myself? You know what? I'm going to record myself talking about these topics and then I'm just going to keep dishing it out over and over again. And so it got to a point where I was like, I could actually profit from some of this by sharing this with other entrepreneurs in need. And so instead of me jacking up the price and sending it to the highest bidder, I decided to be a little bit more humble in that approach and help the people behind me. We're really big about passing the baton. And so this was one way that I knew that I could do that. And that's where Q Essentials eventually evolved into. So currently it is a mini courses, 20-minute mini courses. There's about 14 of them right now that you can actually get on either pay full price or in a payment plan option that you can get right now. So I'm really excited to offer that to entrepreneurs who are looking for ways to level up in 2022, but do it on their own terms and at their own pace.
Yes, I love that. I am very, very big on education. I'm very big on learning because in the word learn is earn, EARN, right?
Hmm.
So you guys need to learn this marketing so you can earn. We just entered into the digital age. We're not going back. Everybody is quitting their jobs. The great resignation has happened. And it's all about, really,
Yes.
it's all about entrepreneurship and marketing online and being able to profit from your marketing. So we can give you all the strategies, right? But you're the one who's going to have to take action
Mhm.
moving forward. So
Yeah.
can you tell us some of the keys on taking action with your marketing strategy
Oh,
that you provide?
absolutely. Yes. So typically what we do is after we create those basic kind of basic workshop branding voice type of exercises, we'll move on directly into production. But on a teaching and on an educational basis, what we encourage people to do is to practice. And we actually offer these really cool workshops within Q1 Essentials called our Canva workshop. And so what that is literally you have the ability to send us a link to your Canva design and you get this X amount of one-on-one dedication. I will break it down for you and build it back up for you all in this one session. So not only am I using you as an example and you get something practically free from us, you also get to other people get to learn. They get to learn, okay, well, she chose this element instead of that element. She chose to go with this font instead of this font. She chose these colors instead of these colors. And I think it's a great learning tool to each one teach one in that way. So that's one way that we love to be able to amplify the educational element of what we provide through Octane.
Yes, that's so awesome. So can you tell us more about just a few more services that you guys offer?
Absolutely. We're currently taking podcast applicants right now. So anyone who is looking to maybe dive into podcasting, maybe just understanding the basis of maybe what they need to do, maybe next steps, if they're interested in wanting to start their own podcast, virtual coffees are my best friend. So we can talk about that. If you know for sure you're ready to move forward and you know for sure you want a podcast, we are available. Our website is completely available to schedule any of those types of consultations. We love social media management and marketing. So we love being able to take small businesses and just kind of pour ourselves into them to let them know, one, they're not alone. Two, also pour into them and let them know there's services for you and maybe even help them in the scaling of their business. So maybe they're in a lower part of that scaling moment and they don't think that they're ready just yet. Lo and behold, there's a lot of additional strategy and additional graphics that we can provide to help them scale their business. So maybe where they're going from, sitting in the kitchen and self-labeling those bottles to maybe getting you in the proper services where you can get professional bottling and professional bottles and things along those lines, depending on what type of service that you are. There's just so many ways that we can help small businesses, but a lot of times it just takes that extra nugget of confidence to step out and say, you know what? I need the help. I know where I can go. I'm going to give Danielle a call.
Yes, I know I'm definitely giving Danielle a call, right? Because Danielle has all the branding, all the tools, and all the strategies. And like she said, being an entrepreneur is not easy, right? And it's okay to ask for help. We are
Mhm.
embarking on something new, something different. A lot of us have never been in the entrepreneurship realm, right? And if you're feeling stuck and if you're struggling on just getting clientele or building a brand or starting a podcast so your voice can be heard, your mission can be heard,
Mhm.
Danielle is who you need to contact. So, Danielle, can you tell us about what it is that you have going on moving forward? And can you tell us how can we get in contact with
Oh, absolutely. So moving forward, we're just going to keep growing. We love being able to touch base with our brands. I love the idea of, again, working small. I come from very humble beginnings. I started Octane in a 500 square foot, one bedroom apartment with two kids.
you?
That's
Wow.
how I started. I started from there at a kitchen table, one light, hanging out. And we have grown from there to here. It's kind of crazy to be in a position now where I am literally delegating duties to a team of women from across the world. That is an amazing gift, if you will, that I think that has been bestowed to me. And so it only feels right to be able to exercise that gift and give it back to the people most in need. So that's kind of how I hope people embrace Octane, even though we're fun and games, but at the heart of it, there is an element of play and strategy that is, again, very fruitful, very profiting. So Yes, our website has all this information where you can sign up for classes. You can follow us on the podcast. You can follow our YouTube channel. You can see our TikTok reels because we do a lot of those now. So we're doing all the things with reels and having fun and just encouraging people to come play with us.
Yes, thank you so much. And what I love that you just said, Danielle, is I started with humble beginnings, right? A lot
Mm-hmm.
of entrepreneurs, they want to go from 0 to 100 real quick, like
Right.
yesterday, right? You said you
Mm-hmm.
had your table, you had your kids, you had your 500 square foot apartment, and you got started,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yes.
you started from just taking one step. Now, 12 years later, you're expanding globally to other countries, hiring women, Black women in other countries, and building businesses and helping and serving. So it just starts with that one step,
Mm-hmm.
right? Of just
Absolutely.
getting started. And you'll
Absolutely.
get there. You'll be like Danielle 12 years from now.
I love it. Yeah, I do want to attribute that my entrepreneurship journey really began from seeing that representation. So I'm a third generation entrepreneur. So my grandparents were entrepreneurs, my aunts and uncles were entrepreneurs, and now my cousins are entrepreneurs. So I definitely attribute a lot of that forward thinking of yes I can, and especially in lower places of life, to that grunt fierceness of my ancestors did this, I can do this.
Yes. And before you leave, we have one more question because we all about self-care here, right? And balance in life. So can you tell us, as a mom, a wife, an entrepreneur, how do you take time for yourself? And when do you take time for yourself being a
Oh
CEO?
man, usually it's in between. We joke that I take slow meditative walks in between my client meetings, which is so true. I actually walking, meditating is very helpful. Just being around positive energy. Period. I have an 18-month-old son. He keeps a lot of joy in my life, but I also have a 15-year-old son. And he keeps a lot of joy in my life. So in between that, for kids, how do you keep that energy going? It really is kind of feeding off them and higher energy feeding into me, and then good clients, good people. I surround myself with joy, and that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for all the knowledge that you gave us today. Ladies, go to her website. I'm going to be dropping all of her information after this because you need a marketing and branding strategy. Okay? So
Yes.
thank you so much, Danielle. It was an honor and pleasure to have you here speaking about your business and your life. We appreciate you. You guys have a good night. Bye.